He seemed like he was listening, but at the same time, I don't think he liked what I was saying. Can those two things both be true at the same time? Is that possible? How's your day, homie?
All is well, man. I'm yourself.
All right, wonderful. Happy to be back on the game. Just got done with a move, and you know, get chill a little bit tonight. It's a blast.
Move to
Mississippi.
All right, down the south.
Yeah, where are you from, bro?
Texas, Houston.
Hey, let's go. So, Lacey, it's not like Christianity's filled with all these rules that you can or can't do. That's not what it is, right? What Christianity is about is where your heart is and all these things. We need to recognize that everything that comes out of our mouth, right, represents Christ. And with that, it will share with others on whether we believe if Jesus is real or not, right? And so if we go and curse people out, you know, that's not very loving to them. However, if we share with them love with our mouths, then then those people would be blessed, and we would share with them the beauty of who Christ is and the gentleness of who Christ is, if that makes sense. Yo, so I got a kind of a random question for you, if you would mind indulging me for a second.
Watch the sky.
My question is, what do you think about God? Do you think he's real?
Don't know, man. I'm an engineer, so it gotta be a little more scientific for me. And if you want to show me something scientific that I can measure, I'm inclined to believe it. I'll leave it at that.
All right. I played professional soccer. I played professional soccer. Like I don't have a college degree or anything like that. So yeah, this is just like my simple thought. And I know you're gonna be like, well, that's not very scientific, but rationally, it makes sense to me. I'm more of a rational guy than a scientific guy, because I don't understand science. However, can you build a house without a builder?
Build a house without a builder?
Yeah.
Like somebody to nail the 2x4s together?
Yeah. Can the house just like erect itself on its own?
I'd be inclined to say no.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, with that being said, right, as a Christian, I believe that this world, this universe, right, is a creation, is a design, right, is a thing that was created, and I don't think that there can be a creation, a universe, without a creator and instigator of said universe.
Okay, yeah, I will fully admit I have no explanation as to how the universe started, and so open to all thoughts on that. But how did God get created?
So that's a great point. So in this universe, right, there's 3 different aspects of this universe: time, space, and matter, right? Well, if there is a creator of time, space, and matter, that means that creator of time, space, and matter has to be outside of time, space, and matter. So that would mean that God was before there was time.
Okay.
That's kind of my real quick thoughts. So yeah, that's why I'm convinced there's a God.
Okay. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Fair. So now the big question is, right? If there is a God, I'm not going to say you believe or anything like that, but I think in this process I don't know if convince is someone the right word, but when sharing with someone this, you'd have to explain, all right, now which God is the correct God, right?
Hey, that's one of my other questions, yeah, because there's lots of different gods and beliefs and whatnot.
For the Christians, it stands on one thing and one thing very simply: that God loved us so much that he sent his one and only son to take on the punishment of the sin that we deserve. We can get into that conversation a little bit later. However, why this is important is because when God does this, Jesus dies on the cross, and then 3 days later, he resurrects from the dead. Claiming that someone resurrects from the dead is a pretty tall claim. Either that is true,
25 remain.
And he did.
Solid work so far.
Or it is not true. He's a liar. All of his friends are liar, and he's just some guy that was a big old scam, right?
Maybe it's more of a metaphor.
let me rephrase it. The Bible and everything it stands for and believes is completely not like, it claims that this man, like, they did a medical explanation of like how this man died. Like, he died on a cross, then ended up getting speared in the side and water and blood poured out. And when you die, the water separates from your blood. So when, like, it pours out, like if you get speared and stuff like that, then both water and blood would pour out like separately, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So the Bible claims that this man dies, and then it claims that he resurrected from the dead. So Jesus had 12 friends, 12 followers. Every single one of them, minus one of them, ended up dying brutal, painful deaths for proclaiming and believing that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. So the question is, like, what did they have to gain out of proclaiming that Jesus rose from the dead? Absolutely nothing. Literally absolutely nothing. Only death itself did they have to gain. One of the also like biggest things to me is Jesus had a brother. His name was James.
Gas is moving in.
When
New
Jesus
safe
was
zone
in his
highlighted.
ministry in the Bible, James was
How would he
saying.
have a brother if God only had one son?
So he had.
Fire
Let me
sale
rephrase
is
it.
active.
He had a half
Fire
brother,
station costs are adjusted.
if that makes sense. But in this world, you would call him his brother. Does that make sense?
Half brothers and brothers aren't the same. You either have two of the same parents or
Yeah.
one
So
same
it's
and one
same
different.
mom, same mom. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So he had the same mom, and James.
Mary?
Yes, Mary, exactly. So James says that in before Jesus dies on the cross and resurrected from the dead, James literally calls Jesus crazy. He's like, "What are you doing, bro?
Resurgence
Like,
is about to end.
this guy,
Keep your head on a swivel.
like, what are you doing? Like, come home. Like, at this
Enemy
point,
UAV active.
Jesus' earthly father and James's
Prices are back to
biological father has died. So it's Jesus' responsibility as the oldest man of the household to be a part of the family, to lead the family and stuff like that. But what ends up happening is James goes, "Hey, like, you need to come home. You need to be a part of the family, stuff like that." And Jesus goes, "No."
You've got gas
Basically says
moving
no.
in.
So what ends up happening is James ends up after Jesus resurrects from the dead,
You're in the
he
top
ends up
10. Nice
leading,
job.
being one of the leaders in the church in Jerusalem. He's one of the early church leaders. And for me, I'd go, well, why would he do that? Well, one, if there's something to gain, well, nothing to gain, only death and persecution itself. Or two, it actually happened.
Okay, yeah. There's a motive behind everything. I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh, I left. You're leaving that quick? Hey, chat. Seed planted, right? Seed planted. People might not like it, but seed planted, right? People might not like the truth, but it's a planted seed, right? But I'm super glad that you know what I mean? Like, still definitely a good conversation, right? I wanted to share, I was hoping to share with him the entire conversation, the entire one, but you know, seeds are planted. I think if I'm completely honest, guys, I think one of the reasons he left is because, you know, we made sense. Like, genuinely, we made sense. The things I was saying made sense to him, and it challenged his worldview, right? And if it challenges his worldview, well, people don't like it when your worldview is challenged, and you don't have a response to things.